Hey, welcome to Psychic Frank's Mystery School. What did I write down here? Wrote something down I wanted to start off with. got got blown away there. Hi. Well, you are the love and the beauty of life in full expression. You are beautiful. We forget human life. No matter who you are, what shape you might be in, no matter what you're going through, being alive is fantastic, and if it's a rough time, it'll pass. I'm not just being totally optimistic there. Yeah, I just saw something down the hall I wanted to share. I wrote it down. It's on the hall. It's engraved on the wall. It says public television should seek out able people whose talents might otherwise not be known and shared. Dot dot dot. Provide a voice for groups that may otherwise be unheard, be a forum for debate and controversy, dot, 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 and have the means to be daring, to break away from narrow conventional convention and be human. From the Carnegie Commission on Educational Television in 1965. In my yearbook, I could have wrote most likely to be end up on cable access TV, but hey, I'm loving it. I'm loving my life here on cable access TV, and thank you for being open minded. Most people are living in the concentration camp of left brain thinking. Oh, we got a call, and we got a new phone system here. Hello, hi, you're on the air. Hello, hi, is anybody there? Oh well. Okay, so get that out of the way. Yeah, when fascism comes to America, it'll be wrapped in the flag and carrying a cross. Sinclair Lewis said that. Okay, so I'll be back here. I just started, but I thought I'd give you the rundown. I'm here the second and the fourth Thursday of every month, and my shows are re-aired on Channel 29, SFC.TV, SFCommons.TV. So today's the July 28th, and no time at all. August will be here. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. Couldn't be more excited where we are now. I'm reading from the Mountain Astrologer here on this is the forward forecast calendar for August and September for 2016 by Pan Youngums. And she says, we are entering a powerful time of transition and completion. The influence of Saturn and Neptune square is building to a crescendo in its third and final aspect in early September. Throughout August and September, we will be integrating the lessons and challenges associated with this perplexing, demanding configuration. Yeah, it peaks in September, and then by October, no, December and January of 2017, what started in the '60s is going to be over. I'm always on the computer and reading all I can on astrology and what people who call themselves astrologers are talking about. And over the years now, since 2011, I haven't heard one article, not even in the Mountain Astrologer, one article on the America's birth chart. We have Sagittarius rising. Your rising sign is what was happening. I got America's chart right here. Here it is. Yeah, 4:10 p.m. on July 4th, 1776. Sagittarius was coming up on the horizon. Now, Pluto takes 240 years to go around the wheel. Our Pluto return will happen in a couple of years, but what happened on 9/11 2001 was Pluto was 13 degrees Sagittarius, going back and forth over our ascendant. So, going into our first house, where it is in opposition. So, it started off in opposition to our Venus. Our happiness took a blow, which being it's being trans how we have fun, what we call fun, like what gobbling up fossil fuel and taking it away from generations to follow us, just so we could sit around and hee haw and watch these guys go around and around, blowing that gas out into the ozone. You know, our thin little ozone layer. You know, when are people going to learn how to have fun? You got to learn how to play. We never learned how to play. Look at Donald Trump's kids, the boy Von something. Uh, Pictures of him with a full grown like 6 foot leopard dead. You know, shoot him. He's got another picture of him with a tail of a elephant. Very proud with his rifle. You know, he little punk. You know. Anyway, how would you like if somebody came into your house? You invited people into your home, and then they started crapping all over the place, peeing on your walls. You know, putting cigarettes out on your carpet, turning your heat way up. You know, you throw their ass out, right? Well, look what we're doing to our Earth. Here, our One Mind gave us Earth School. Okay, you're going to a nice college. It's called Earth School. It's in this beautiful little galaxy called the Milky Way. It's green, beautiful, and lush. Um, and look what we did to our home. Look what we did to our home. Fish full of mercury. Listen to Marvin Gaye, you know, Inner City Blues, man. Everything that man said came to happen, you know. So, but see, Neptune is the dissolver. See, and Neptune squaring Saturn. Saturn's the structure of everything. And so we're seeing now old structures dissolve, and some of those dissolving process, people aren't, you know, they don't have faith. You know, I made a note here. I got a copy of Donald Trump's chart. Okay, so it says, so I just want you to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train. You know, it's actually a light. Paradigm changing things are happening. You know. What started in the 60s is coming to fruition. So it's actually immature and juvenile to think like all of a sudden you wave a wand and then paradigms change. No, when when Galileo said, you know, things were not the way they thought they were, that the sun doesn't revolve around the earth revolves around the sun. Uh, oh yeah, globe makers weren't happy. You know, a lot of people, they put his ass in jail. You know, it was a cushy jail. You know, because they could. But as I said before him, a lot of bodies. You know, what bothers me. Let me get this out of the way, then I could get on with things. You know, I watched the Republican and I'm watching the Democratic convention, and when Donald Trump let out that blurted out the LGBTQ. What's the Q stand for? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You know, it's just wrong. It's just so wrong. You know, how many of my kind, gay, lesbian, transgender people, were beaten, violently beaten to death? Um, and the last words they heard were queer, faggot, dyke. You know, so, you know, we're not going to change dykes on bikes. They've been, I wish we would change it all though. And I was thinking about even bringing that up. And I was walking down the street, and you know how they spray things on the sidewalk with stencils. All around here, there's like queers hate techies. You know, it's like, man, just let's delete that. Well, words are so important. Remember the last time I was here, I picked up that book by Imoto Masuti, or it's that Japanese guy that talks about the secret life of water. And you can treat your water by just thinking love or writing love, you know, on the beaker, on where your water container, you know, and then you take a crystal, put it in a drop, a petri dish, freeze it, and you get crystals of love. Crystals are beautiful. War, hate, racism, you know, these are all deformed, twisted crystals, you know. Marriage was a double crystal. I like that one. Yeah, so your words are so important, you know. So yeah, I get that out of the way now. I don't want to dwell on it, but you know the whole thing about we're queer, we're here. It was good, you know, to get, you know, I don't know. It was never good. It was never good, but somehow we bonded with a wound. And it's time now to unbond with that wound, just like the N word. How many beautiful, sweet, innocent people of color were just beaten violently to death, dragged to their death, and the last thing they heard were the N word. Well, that's how I feel about the Q word. You know, being a psychic, I tune into a lot of people who are no longer on this planet. And everybody's really happy. By the way, the message from the other side is souls are really happy. This is a healing crisis that started in the 60s with the most sadistic um, thing that ever a president could afflict on, an experiment called trickle down economics. They were those that got trickled on, and there were a lot more that got peed on. And the tricklers are running things now. They just want to go back to the Reagan years. I don't mean to be vulgar, but I'm painting a picture here. We're all human. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Oh, it looks easy from the other side when you're planning on incarnating. You go, oh yeah, put that on, put that on. Oh, they'll make it too easy this time. Well, you're getting your money's worth in Earth School, huh? Let's look at Donald Trump's chart. Let's look at the Trumpster's chart here. Here he is. Surprise, surprise. He's got a Leo rising. Surprise. With an ego like that. And there's Mars. I wish I could blow this up. Mars, well, you can't see this, but I'm pointed this out in the March 2016 Mountain Astrologer. You could get past issues for just a few dollars. They have them. I think it's $1 more than a newsstand or something, but it's worth having a lot of these. So many issues. I've been keeping all my issues for years. As a matter of fact, I got to renew my. It comes out twice a month. I mean, twice. I wish twice a month. No, it comes in every 6 times a year, so that's every 2 months you get a new Mountain Astrologer, and I said, oh yeah, this is the one with the bad James Hillman thing going on there. Yeah, Chiron. Okay, we'll talk more about Trump's. Yeah, he has Chiron. One second here. His Chiron is the wounded healer planet. It was only discovered in 77, and I'll read about that in a second. So here we have, well, this is, it's not showing up here, but I'll find it in a minute. One second. Okay, Chiron. In my mind, Chiron's mystical beginnings as an abandoned child make him a powerful symbol of the human need to make consciousness an early psychological wound. Oh, I know what I was looking for. Obama's chart. President Obama has an Aquarius. He's a Leo, but actually his sun sign in the 6th house, 12 degrees Leo, actually falls in Donald Trump's 12th house. Whoa, somebody's sun falls in your 12th house. You're working out something from a past life. These two. Yeah, what's happening now? You got to understand what's happening now. It hasn't happened ever. This is like, and I think for hundreds of years it was like, and now this everything since the 60s. Actually, it started in 56 and then officially in 57 when Eisenhower signed it into being. There was no God we trust. This country was founded to get away from religion and God, not that we were godless, but, we want to have the freedom to, just practice, see our imaginary God as what we want to feel. They asked Mayor Baba once if he thought he was God, and he said, who else? Who else could I be? Anyway, so Barack Obama's chart, I was looking at his chart. He has his south node in Chiron, 5 degrees Pisces, conjunct his south node rather 20. His rising sign is 18 degrees Sag. Then just below that is the 27 degrees Aquarius. So that's brilliant. He's genius. He's a genius guy. And then below that, actually within 10 degrees, is that Chiron 5-degree Pisces. Now, both the south node and the south node's the trap. They're both retrograde, meaning it's past life stuff. Only other person that said that, I'm sure there's other psychics, but it was Edgar Casey. And it goes in opposition to Pluto direct. So he's supposed to take his early childhood wounds, we all have an emotionally compromised past, and he was no exception, and take his childhood pain and makes him want to totally transform things. Because it's all that Chiron energy is in opposition to his 7th house Pluto and his Mars in Virgo. Yeah, Pisces, Virgo. Well, the other day I was talking about, taking God out of government and putting it in medicine, science. healthcare. And I want to get back into that because I don't want people to think that I'm just going to wait around for a miracle and die. No, but there's a, like, we who practice Western, Eastern, alternative healers. There's many of us out there forming all kinds of alternative healings. Dr. Larry Dossey, in his book One Mind, talks about what I saw on Facebook a couple of years ago at a hospital in North Carolina, where a group of nurses, took the weekend seminar that was being given in that part of town on enhancing what they were doing with touch therapy. And they all paid the money, took the weekend seminar. And when they got to work that Monday morning, there was a big sign underneath the nurses' station saying, "No healings will be done in this hospital." And I saw that and I went, "Wow," because I've been in and out of hospitals doing that stuff, and the only hospital that's really that into it, into supporting people like myself who do alternative healings to enhance Western medicine, is Alta Bates out there in Berkeley. But it, you know, and the worst thing is, so there's many forms of alternative healings. I know a lot of times I'll be working with someone in intensive care, and when I work, I get on the case, and the person's all crippled up on the bottom of the bed in excruciating pain. Has been that way for weeks, and then I come in one session, and they're back with their hands like this. I don't have a messiah complex. I'm just relating an experience, and then the nurses one by one would come in like I was selling dope or something, and they would say, "Oh, could you work on me for a minute? I only have 10 minutes. My supervisor will be back." And I said, "Well, why can't you?" I was kind of green back then. Why can't you? This was in the 90s. So I started all this in the 80s, and then one by one they would come in and get a little healing from me and do a little reading on them. Uh, yeah, so it's and but see, we're all like, yeah, let's share things, let's share power, but no, the line stops here. Western medicine is not giving in one iota, and when they're running a death mill now, they don't need nurses, they need MIT graduates. They're not run. They don't care who's in that bed. You put them in comas, and then they attach them to these machines. They inject the medicine into the machine. The dials tell them. They don't even glance over. I had an experience I will never forget until my dying day. My dying day, which I hope is a long time away. I was working on a friend who was put in a coma. He was getting ready to, he was leaving the planet. And as soon as I put my hands over his crown, I told the woman I've been his healer for the last 6, 7 years. I'm not going to touch his body. Well, you couldn't touch his body. There wasn't an empty space. It was all full of these wires. He was attached to. I mean, I've been doing this since the early '80s, since the AIDS epidemic. I've never ever seen it to this extent. Um, and the minute I put my hands like 2 inches above his crown chakra, I felt something, and his body, his soul just went right out. And the equipment went haywire. I mean, and this nurse yelled at me, "Leave him alone! What are you doing?" And I never had that experience before, and I just walked out, And I went back the next day, and he was gone. I mean, he was, they hadn't unplugged him yet, but he was gone. But as I'm saying, I've been in also situations like, I remember once this friend, I call them all my friends, this beautiful Mexican lady had this beautiful daughter, Bella. Well, Bella's got to be 27 now. This was a long time ago. Amazing how time flies. And I've never seen these people. I think she moved back to Mexico. But her friends called me. What's her name, had a baby, beautiful baby girl, and she went into a coma. She had an asthma attack, and they put her in a coma, and she won't come out of it. She's stuck in this coma, Frank. It's been 3 days now. So I got on the BARD and went out to Alta Bates, and oh, was I impressed. So before I went into intensive care, I went into the nursery to see this baby that was born. And there was all these beautiful babies, they all look alike, at that stage they all look like beans. Well, there was Bella with the most beautiful long black hair. She was like a Madonna in the middle of this sea of babies. There was like a dozen or so babies, and there I spotted her right off the bat, and I said, "Oh, darling, sent her love. Then I went upstairs. I put my hands on the woman that was, dying. She was, to all appearances, was starting to freak a lot of people out. And she, by the time I always take my shoes off. It helps the energy flow better when I'm in those areas. And well, she came right out of it. Came right out of it. So as I said, there's so many people. I will. Oh yeah, before I forget, we'll be doing things on Facebook now. I'm in the process of working with people and yeah, so you could do Psychic Frank's Mystery School. It's going to be a once a week thing, like the beginning of every week, probably Monday or Tuesday. I'll be giving, part of the mystery school. It'll be free on Facebook. And so keep your eye out for that. It'll probably happen in a couple of weeks. And it's a lot of it will be filmed out of my apartment. Some of the rehash, these shows right here will be re-aired on Facebook because I know they don't get that much. They get a lot of airtime on Bayvac gives SF Commons a lot of airtime, but I know a lot of people want more. That's all humility, I believe, like Alan Watts said, we are most of America, the populace is starving, are psychically starved, So I want to feed you guys. I want to feed you guys. Well, the other day I was talking to a friend, and she had her diabetes, the diabetes. Never say my diabetes or her. Say I almost put a curse on the sweet lady. It wasn't. It was. She had diabetes under control, and then something happened, and she came back, and she had to do insulin. And I saw her the other day, and I said, "You got to." I worked on her, and then when I was doing her chakras, I said, "You got to." Your affirmation is, I give myself permission. I allow myself to enjoy the sweetness of life. And I said that a few times, and I said, I want you to repeat that as many times as possible, 500 times. Don't sit and count them, but just keep on saying, I give myself permission to enjoy the sweetness of life. That's a beautiful thing. Of course, if you watch TV, oh, the worst thing is the worst. Oh God, they're so bad. They are just so bad. This one, I don't know what drugs they're selling, but it's this guy about the sun will come out tomorrow, and this guy is like got this. This actor is a very good actor. I mean, he is all like his eyes are like, I'm so afraid I'm gonna die any second. Oh crap! You might as well drop dead from whatever you got that, whatever you're trying to sell there. Because Bernie Siegel says, Doctor Bernie Siegel, it says, one second, getting well is not the only goal. Getting well is not the only goal. Even more important is learning to live without fear, to be at peace with life and ultimately death. We're on an endless journey through eternity. There's no way you're not going to survive your death. I started the other morning, I did a little song. I love coffee, I love tea, I love life, and life loves me. Excuse, I know I don't have a singing voice. But, Bernie Siegel says, your body loves you, but if you don't love your life, it can make it a short one, thinking it's doing you a favor. So, you want to really get that vibration out there. I love life and life loves me. Embrace each challenge in your life as an opportunity for self-transformation. There is no such thing as an incurable disease, only incurable people. Who didn't see Trump coming? Come on now. I don't buy that people are as dumb as they appear or they want me to believe they are. I mean, we had all these years of Mitch McConnell and what's that wino's name with the red nose? Another orange guy. Isn't it funny? We always have to have an orange guy. Boehner and now Trump. I mean, put them back together. Brothers from another mother. Uh, and they both said they were not going to pass anything in Congress, and they held their word. They did nothing because Obama was a man of color. They were not standing for a man of color. So it's been going on. It's been going on. This, like, divorces don't happen. That's the end of a process. Like alcoholics who have been sober for years don't just start drinking. I mean, A slip, they call it a slip, starts way months before you actually pick up the bottle, you know. So uh, but I don't think I'm not an alcoholic, by the way. I don't drink alcohol, but I'm not going to label myself. And yeah, we put isms, icks, zines. Oh yeah, don't take any zines. No Thorazine, Compazine, anything with a zine. No, I don't even do enes. No caffeine, nicotine. Okay. Believe that we have to contribute. I believe we have to contribute love to the planet, each of us in our own way. So that's what Uranus is doing. The Uranus Pluto square. Pluto, the planet of death, destruction, and rebirth. It's still in our first house, in opposition to. One second. Where's that black book? Yeah. Where's the United States of America's chart? Oh, here it is under the Mount Astrologer. Yeah, so now we've got Pluto in our first house in opposition to our well, the opposition to our sun is yeah, that's what's happening. Pluto today is where are we? Here we go. Uh, Pluto. I saw a picture of Pluto yesterday in a magazine. It came a few years ago, and I'm just getting around to reading it. I don't believe in taxing myself. I don't punch a clock. Um, there are no rules here. Okay, so Pluto, the planet of death, destruction, rebirth, 16 degrees retrograde. And our sun is, and our eighth house cusp is 18 degrees. So Pluto is going back into our seventh house. So, okay. Saturn in aspects, yeah. So Pluto, Uranus shakes things up. It's the wild card, the monkey wrench planet. It shakes things to shake them loose, and it adores originality. It hates cookie cutter things. It wants you to enjoy your unique gift. Nobody will ever be. We're not like snowflakes, you know. There will be never ever. We are like snowflakes. A lot of people say no, we're not. There are now nobody will be quite exactly as you are. That's why you need to be here. Aspects to Saturn's an aspect to Neptune. Well, Neptune rules insanity, higher states of consciousness. There's a fine line between enlightenment and insanity. You're dealing with Kundalini energy that travels up, the feminine psychic energy that travels up your spine, the Kundalini. And if it goes up too fast, your hair turns into Medusa snakes, you know. So you want to gently let your Kundalini rise. A lot of times I'll put my hands on someone's crown chakra and I'll say, or I'll go up and down their spine with my hands, and I could feel if there's a little block in their kundalini. I love that word. It's a fun word, kundalini. Uh, Saturn in aspect to Neptune ultimately requires that we elevate our expression to the qualities of both Saturn and Pisces. Now, we have Sag rising, the shadow, everything's got a shadow. Everything on this planet has a shadow. Nothing's lacking a shadow. Yeah, Hillary has a shadow. Our job is to get her elected and stay on her back to get her promises fulfilled. Simple as that. Easy peasy. It's not rocket science, you know. Uh, People are fighting a battle, you know, people are really angry and fighting. Walk away from them. The battle they're fighting is with themselves, not with you or Hillary or anybody else. Yeah, these people are beating a dead horse. I hate that metaphor, you know, but it's what's going on now. I mean, it's over. What do they say? Never disappoint a child or an alcoholic. I'm not a child. I'm not an alcoholic. This is happening for us, not to us. Life's a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. We're living the mystery. Um, there's a great quote, Bernie. I'll get that in a second. Okay, so it says, so the shadow of our rising sign, Sagittarius, and where Saturn happens to be right now. Saturn will be on America's rising sign. It's 10 degrees retrograde right now. But so by the spring, this coming spring, we're going to start a whole new cycle, numerology wise. 2017, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 1, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. So one universal year. The drawbridge goes down. We start a whole new 9-year cycle. And for the United States of America, Saturn hasn't been on our rising sign for 30 years. And that's just around the time that son of Seagull, uh, Ronald Reagan, the sadistic creep, uh, uh, pulled that sadistic joke on us called trickle down economics, which we all know now was a dismal failure. Ah, so, um, for humanity to rise above the obstacles and reap the benefits of Saturn and Sag, we must move from prejudice, dogmatism into tolerance, generosity of spirit. To absorb the lessons of Neptune and Pisces, each of us must raise our spiritual awareness, become less self indulgent, reclusive, and more sensitive to universally minded. Wow. Good stuff there. So, yeah, so I'll be here again on August 11th and the 25th, God willing. And the Leo new moon will be August 2nd. And then we have the Aquarius full moon August 18th. That one I've been waiting for quite a while. And it's our heart is far more than a pump, according to radio neuro radio, neuro radio, neurocardiology. Okay, um, research. Our heart continually communicates with the brain in four ways: neurologically, biochemically, and biophysically, and electromagnetically. Your heart is sending you a message. We just hearts don't attack us and nerves don't break down, but wow, we do a number on them. Well, fear, worry, anxiety, stress, these are all toxic emotions, and we just are, and they're addictive. And they strip our stomach lining. They set us up for all kinds of diseases. And the worst thing is very, very addictive. So we gotta, the war on drugs is nothing. We gotta get this war on fear out of the way. Um, yeah, what's happening is we actually have a hard brain. Yeah, I read this on my last show. Yeah, this is from, but before that though, the Leo new moon. Leo is likes. It's a time to play. It's a time to play. The numerology, of course, we live in the United States of America. We add because our day and month, July 4th, is 11. 11 is a master number. You don't want to reduce it to a single digit. So our 2016 is 9, 9, and 11 is 11. So this is uh, an 11 year for us: 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, last year we planted new beginnings. We planted new seeds. We started a whole new 9-year cycle. Now, next year, we see the sprouts come up of the seeds we planted last year. So that's the lay of the land for us. But universally, this whole numerology thing of new beginnings. That's beautiful. Yeah. On August 13th, Saturn stations direct at 10 degrees Sag. We've been reevaluating our beliefs and goals since March 25th when it went retrograde 16 degrees Sag. So this Saturn was in our first house, then went all the way back past our rising sign and into our 12th house. So now we're dealing with things that are cause issue. We're dealing with things at the cause level. It's cause and effect. The more you deal with the effect keeps festering until you detach from the effect. And yeah. Oh yeah. I want to mention the Democratic and DNC, the National Democratic. Okay, the DNC, Democratic National Committee. It's not just Washington, D.C. And Debbie, what's her name, Schultz. It's right here in good old San Francisco, Sacramento, California. I mean, no on Prop 64. I'm going to be doing some shows out of my house on Prop 64. I think Shona's going to join me. She's our leader of Access of Love, and she's in Sacramento a lot making the rules that are. Yeah, we got to send what this Prop 64 back to Sacramento. It lacks empathy. It's a giveaway to the big corporations. And if it wasn't for Petra DeJesus, David Campos, Raphael Mendelson, and Bevan Duffy, and a couple others, the DNC, when I was at the State Building with Access of Love, I experienced the first hand, the cold, ruthless hand of the DNC in Sacramento. And it's Jerry Brown, it's Dianne Feinstein. I mean, I know, as well as I know, I'm knocking on wood, they all got their palms greased. Maybe they didn't accept money, but they got favors or something. Everybody's on the side of the big corporations, Monsanto and four others, and they wanted. Even Bernie Sanders said if he lived in California, he would vote no against the cannabis monopoly. Nobody's mentioning my hero. Harvey Milk, but Harvey Milk, I remember him saying that cannabis reform, cannabis, the whole issue with cannabis was a civil rights issue. And it was because, it started in the 30s there. Yeah, something happened in the 50s. They slapped God into, God, they took him out of science officially and put him into government. I won't say the Pledge of Allegiance with God in it. Because I believe I'm a psychic. I don't like being a medium. I read a long time ago when I first realized my talent that I wasn't going to, they say in all the ancient books I read, Wise Old Wisdom, all wisdom is plagiarism, only stupidity is original. They said, don't settle for mediumship. That's a trap. And I'm so glad I didn't. I see these mediums on TV. Small, mediums at large, whatever they call themselves. And God, I would slit my wrist. Who could live that way? Who could live that way? Nobody doesn't survive their death. I remember once I had an amazing experience. These people from LA called me. Their mother had died, and they were looking for something. They were looking for an important document or something. I said, "Well, it's in a hat box. One of the hat boxes in her closet." Just seeing that just came to me like, you would just say that, but it was there. So sometimes I don't think of it's but you can't have that many lucky guesses. I can't have that many lucky guesses on demand. People ask me a question, you get a lot. But in the beginning of accepting my talent, I shrugged it off a lot to a lucky guess. But then after a few years of that many lucky guesses, I realized, oh, no, something else is going on here. Yeah, I wanted to be an astrologer and live on a yacht in Crete and fax my articles in. But I'm happy the way it turned out. I'm loving this. I'm loving every minute of this wonderful unfoldment. Okay, so let's get back to the sun's in Leo now. Leos like to roar, but they'd much rather purr. So I'm glad we're all shaking our manes now. Hark! I got a call. Hello.
Hi, is this Psychic Frank?
Speaking.
Hi, I just want to say, first of all, I'm a huge fan of your show, man. You're awesome. Thank you so much for providing us with your brilliant aspects and opinions every Thursday.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you. Yeah, well, thanks. What's your name?
My name is Michael Masoka.
Michael. Hi. Let me get my pen here and get some information for you. I throw things around here. What's your birthday?
March 20th, 1981.
March 20th, 1981. I hate when that happens. Okay, March 20th. So let me just get a piece of paper here, and here we go. So March 20th. So 3 and 2 is 5. Very creative number, all about freedom. Get rid of the idea there's ever going to be a dull moment. Every test gives you more and more freedom. You got to have a creative outlet, no matter what you're doing. You got so much creative energy. Now, what was the year?
1991.
1991. So I'm opening the ephemeris now. So 1991 is 11. And we add that 11 to your day and month, 5, 6, 7. So you're a mystic. Mystic isn't a special kind of human being, but every human being is a special kind of mystic. So that's 1991. Now, what was it again, the day and month? March 20th?
Yeah, March 20th.
March 20th. Okay, so 1991, March 20th was a Wednesday is your power day. You're Pisces. Yeah, Pisces is like 10 degrees now, opposite, forming a square with Saturn 10 degrees. So it's going to be a few years. Neptune moves very slowly. It takes like 80 something wheels to 87 years to 80 something years to go around the wheel. Uranus too. So it's going to be a few years. Once again, you're very sensitive human being. You saw the show I did where I said about, people get put down for being sensitive. You're too sensitive. Well, we're not really honored for our sensitivity, as a matter of fact. But yeah, and out of like 90% of the universe, we get 4% with our five senses. It's only when we use our 6%, our sixth sense, that we see much more of it. So it's time now to just tap your forehead, bring it up a few chakras. So you got the Pisces moon with a Pisces with a Taurus moon. So emotionally, you're very stable. How old are you right now?
How old am I?
Yeah, how old?
I'm 25.
Yeah, see, so you had your Jupiter return last year. Now, the next big event for you is your Saturn return. That happens when Saturn's in Aquarius. So that's 29. So that's a way down the road there. But that's a nice thing to. Until you're 29, you're being Saturnarized. Saturn says nothing before its time, rules your bones, so many people are. I can't tell you how many young men have come up to I have no elevator in my building. I live on the third floor. People have come up there on crutches, young men, and I see that, and they open the door, and I see them on crutches, and then when they sit down, and I see they're 29. Yeah, they're having their first Saturn return. Saturn, if you're not on the right path, Saturn's not above breaking bones because it rules our bones and the structure of our lives. It's one of those mysteries, that just is. Okay, so your North Node is in Capricorn. So at the end of the day, when you're older, you'll be a teacher. Whatever you're doing, you'll end up teaching. And boy, when this Chinese guy told me that, this Chinese psychic told me that about myself years and years ago, 30 something years ago, almost 40 years ago, this Chinese psychic gave me right after Sylvia Browne, he gave me a ass kicking reading. And then he ended it with saying, you're going to do what I'm doing. And I said to him, I didn't say it to his face, but I said, this man's a freak. I don't want to do this. I said, you want to make God laugh, tell her your plans. Okay, Uranus. Uranus is hovering around your Mercury. Oh, you are opening up. Start your day. Every day brings unexpected, wonderful surprises. Your moon, your Venus conjuncts your moon. So you like a nice life. You took no vows of poverty in this life. Your Mars is in Gemini, so get that memo to your Mars. Your Mars is how you chop wood, carry water, how you go about, your daily mechanics of your life. The close planets, Venus, Mars, Mercury, is Sun. These are how we deal with our everyday life. The outer planets deal with the big picture of our life. So what we got with your Mars in Gemini, forming a sweet aspect to your Sun, one of those Gemini twins is mortal. The other one's immortal. So every time one gets a good idea, the other one gets a zillion ideas why that one's not going to work. So it's always it's keeping those twins in the same circle, making your courage bigger than your fear. We all have to do that now. The sun's on your Jupiter today. That is amazing. The sun is 3 degrees Leo today. Your Jupiter is 3 degrees Leo. That is too much.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that is fun. That is fun. Okay, and then you've got the sun in opposition to Saturn. Wow, that's an amazing thing. I can't find my pen because I want to get the time of your birth so I can get your chart done for you, and then we could talk. Oh, here it is. Oh, far out. Okay, so it's Michael. I'll do it. You know the time you were born, Michael?
Wait, the date?
Yeah, I got the date, 3/20/1991. Where was that?
City?
Where were you born?
San Francisco, California.
Okay, and what time? Do you know the time of your birth?
Like the exact time? No, I don't. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, find out the time of your birth, and then I'll pop it in the computer, and we'll get your chart done. So, because it's important to know your rising sun.
Oh, I know what it was. Actually. Sorry.
You're fading.
What?
You're fading away.
Oh, understand what?
Okay, come back. I couldn't hear you there. You seem to be going away.
Oh, okay. Well, the time of my birth was like 11 p.m.
11 o'clock p.m. You were born in San Francisco on the 20th of March, 1991. Yeah, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you're a 7. Things come to you mystically, strangely. You know the difference from being alone and being lonely. You actually need a lot of time alone. So even in a most intense relationship, you need your own space. Like that's my study when I'm in there. Shut the door. Are you involved in the arts in any way?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you involved in the arts in any way?
About what?
The arts. Are you creative, and are you any artistic abilities or anything?
Artistic bourbon?
Artistic abilities. Do you have any artistic? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean some.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, I'll have your chart done. Let me pick a few cards for you. Why not? I got my, okay. Okay. Oh, here it is. Got my cards here. Okay, now let's get centered. Take a nice healing breath actually, if you can do it through your nose, exhale through your mouth. I don't know if you remember, you were pretty young, but in the 80s, there was this woman from Texas or someplace, this woman of color, and she was a lot of fun, but she faked this Jamaican accent. Her name was Madame Cleo. She passed away the other day, and I liked her a lot. As a matter of fact, I wanted to meet her because I used to tell her, man, she's in trouble. I could help her out. I wish and isn't it funny how now I'm coming into my own, and she and Sylvia Brown, who really helped me a lot, are gone. So I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, the literate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Well, see, you got a lot of Aquarius in your chart, so you're part of the new paradigm. You're gonna fit in like a glove. Okay, so say your first name for me, please.
Michael.
Okay, Michael. Yeah, your first vowel I says a lot about yourself. So, yeah, a blind psychic could see that you're psychic. You're totally everything. You're coming into your own. You're coming into your own. It's this. What did I say? The Venus to your south node tells you to take that Taurus stability and go in the opposite direction. Your north node is Capricorn, so Cancer's your south node. So, yeah, what was your moon? Venus touches your moon. Yeah, Venus touches your moon, but your north node being in Capricorn tells you. See, the ancient symbol for Capricorn is the head of the goat and the fish body, representing earth, surf and turf, subconscious, conscious, earth and land, earth and water. So your job is to use the conscious and the subconscious. So when you go to sleep at night, now Dr. Dr. Bruce Lipton. Dr. Bruce Lipton has a lot of YouTube videos out there. He's a stem cell biologist who has scientifically proven without a doubt that our DNA does not affect our body, our cells. Our mind affects our DNA. This is like revolutionary, and it totally blows away Western medicine. And they're not thrilled. I think he and Sheldrake got thrown off a TED for that information. Yeah, the powers that be, as I said earlier, the people with the power ain't exactly happy to even share it. It's theirs. It works for them. They're making $1 trillion. So it's all changing now. It's so great to be around. I'm so glad I lasted this long. Okay, so listen to, because he says his book is called The Biology of Belief, and there's like an hour and a half lecture on that, which is worth taking in. But there's a lot of 15-minute lectures. There's one on Angelina Jolie. We're totally on the same page about she was into self-mutilation and what she did. Yeah, but he agrees in her case with her beliefs so strong. She was an exception, yeah. But my thing is when any lessons have to do with the breast, where's it going to come? Your breasts represent how you nurture. Our body is being symbolically literate. Every organ in our body responds to our body. Our organs aren't dumb, is what I'm saying. They're very wise. So are the planets. But we've reduced them to real estate and just dumb things, So, oh boy, that's the high priestess. Yeah, there's not one prayer that isn't heard and answered instantaneously. You just haven't been too thrilled with the answers you're getting. We're hooking you up. It's timely. Yeah, your Jupiter return last year was a big deal. Yeah, last year Jupiter was in Leo. This year Jupiter's in Virgo. the whole thing I see is this Mercury on your Uranus, your planet Uranus. I mean, things are the way you take in information now is being shaken up to you. It's sort of like I said earlier. Most of us are living in the concentration camp of right brain thinking. It's left brain thinking. The right brain is where everything happens. Okay, there's information around money coming in. You got to take yourself to the calmer waters. So this is your seven, say 5 year. This is your fun year. This is your fun year. This year, a lot of times people get pregnant in a 5 year. So if you don't want to start a family, be very careful this year. Couples come to me about procreation. I'm always that 5 is all about. Yeah, last year if you did the work, 5 is all about having fun. 5 makes the French girls blush. It's all about sexuality, spirituality, and sensuality. Listen, I've only got like 2 minutes left here, Michael. I got your information. I'm going to be getting your chart done. I'll be back here on August 11th if you'd like to call in then, or the 25th. I'll have your chart in my files here with me. So anytime you call, we can give you your rising sign and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, the old you's gone. Yeah, the big change, I'll leave you with that. The big changes with Pluto in Capricorn happened that's another thing that's happening is your Mars is getting it from Pluto, Uranus. Yeah, the way you chop wood, carry water on a daily basis is all changing. Okay, buddy, call me in a couple of weeks.
I will. Take
Okay,
care.
ciao.
See you, Frank.
Okay, thank you.
About to hear you too, Bye.
Okay, everybody, the show's coming to an end. See you later, Gator. Okay, laughter is inner jogging. Norman Cousins said that. Get away from those TV commercials, man. Muting isn't enough. You get these visuals that drive you nuts. I love you guys. You are beautiful. Wherever you are, no matter what shape you're in, look in the mirror and just find something pretty to say about yourself. Most people just look in the mirror and scream. Sagging thoughts bring sagging lines in the face. So think happy thoughts. Think about the words that come out of your mouth. Words create things. That's why it's called spelling, I love you. Namaste.